Yeah, and one thing that kind of disappointed me is we see the other, I'll say, quote, end quote, progressive news shows, and they've totally just jumped right into the Hillary Clinton bandwagon. And that wouldn't be a problem to me if they weren't attacking Jill Stein and acting like she wasn't a serious candidate with serious issues. I mean, they're showing zero support for Jill Stein, a big portion of them. What is that about? Obviously, as you've already said, Jill Stein has great ideas, and she is by far the most progressive choice for president. What makes them not stand up for Jill Stein and instead attack her?
Well, yeah, they find her very scary because she points out everything that's wrong with Hillary Clinton. And so everything that's wrong with the corporate Democrat, Republican light platform that they want us to believe is somehow progressive when it's anything but. And so, yeah, they absolutely have to minimize that voice and minimize anything that could take votes away from Hillary Clinton. And, you need to look no further than the fact that they are desperate to make sure Jill Stein and Gary Johnson don't end up in these debates, because they know how that will end up making Hillary Clinton and perhaps Donald Trump, although I think to any rational person, they kind of know Donald Trump's, I don't know, megalomaniacal racist without much help. But a lot of people, I think, have been fooled when it comes to Hillary Clinton that she's somehow progressive, and they're desperate to keep the third parties out of the debates, which I just did a segment on Redacted Tonight last week based on other people's research on how the polls that are being used to keep third parties out of the debate, meaning third parties have to get 15% of these polls, and Gary Johnson's highest number so far is 12%. But the polls, most of them are only talking to 10 or 15% independents. But Gallup tells us that 42% of America is now independent. So they're talking to not a representative portion of the United States. And then on CNN's latest poll, which was the latest one that will be used to determine whether these third parties get in the debates, on CNN's latest poll, they did talk to independents, the correct amount, but they refused to talk to 18 to 34-year-olds. If you look at their methodology, they didn't talk to a single 18 to 34-year-old, which has got to be like a third of the voting population or whatever. And why would they do that? Why would they miss out on such a massive block of young voters? And the reason, of course, is because those people are the ones that are most not fooled by Hillary Clinton. And if you poll the correct percentage of independents and the correct percentage of 18 to 34-year-olds, you find that Jill Stein is probably near 15%, and Gary Johnson is over 15%. So they need to keep him out of the debates, and that's the only way to do it.
It's funny, you read my mind. My next question was to ask you to kind of briefly summarize what you talked about this past Friday in regards to the polls. Another huge...
Yeah, and that research is not coming from me. It's coming from Rodolfo Berrigan at Stanford University and other people who've, looked into the methodologies and said this isn't how you do a poll. If you really want to talk to America, you got to talk to a representative, swath of America.